Welcome to Your Story, Our History, a podcast from Londonderry YMCA. I'm Catherine, the project coordinator.
And I'm Hannah, the project archivist. For the past year, we've been on a mission funded by the National Lottery Heritage Fund to capture the voices that have shaped this organisation.
Today we're talking with Gillian Simpson, whose connection to the YMCA spans 40 years. From helping her parents at fundraisers as a child to serving on the board of directors today, Gillian has seen the YMCA from every angle. She shares memories of youth work, the excitement of the disco era, and a memorable staff dinner with a visiting star from Neighbours. She also reflects on the incredible legacy of her father Willie and the strategic vision that keeps the YMCA moving forward.
My name is Gillian Simpson.
Perfect. And tell me a wee bit about yourself now. So a wee bit about your occupation and your hobbies.
I am in a second career. So I previously worked for one of the cross-border bodies as like an information officer, ran a visitor centre, did a lot of school and outreach programmes with an environmental theme. And I left about 3 years ago, and now I'm operations manager in a fantastic law firm in Coleraine. I am a wife and mother to Fraser, who's also been involved with the YMCA. And hobbies, I love cooking, baking, gardening, eating.
Perfect. So how did you get involved in the YMCA?
I have been involved with the YMCA for over 40 years. Came here as a child with my parents, Willie Lamrock and Pat Lamrock. There would have been discos on in the big hall. It was the place to go for youngsters and teenagers. Mummy would have done the tuck shop and I would have helped. And at that stage they had this machine, like a drinks machine, where you push, you push the cup in and it dispenses the drink.
Yeah.
And it had maybe like 4 different flavours. And I was just fascinated by that. So I would help with the drinks and the tuck shop with the discos and just admire all the fashion and all that. And then later on, I started going to the discos then when I became a teenager. And then I moved to Belfast for a while and probably disconnected with the YMCA for a bit. I came back then and got involved through youth work. And I remember being involved with Deborah Galbraith, who also was went on a trip to Jerusalem. And on female projects, on baking projects, all different things. I worked here for a while actually before I went to Belfast. I was at Limavady Tech and I was out here for 4 days a week. And then I was at the Tech for a while and Mark Patterson was my boss at that stage. Then helping out with the youth work, and then later on in life then involved through the board. So I'm currently on the board of directors and I am chair of the YMCA childcare, which is also on site.
Fantastic. You've lived loads of lives here.
Loads of lives, yes.
So, I suppose, what would a typical day look like whenever you were working under Mark Patterson in the youth work team? What would your typical day, like from start to finish, what would you usually come on and do?
You're going back like 20 plus years. So the office was around here somewhere, not this way that it looks now. It was all like under the eaves of the building. So it was before this refurbishment happened. And if you know Mark, he's like 7.5 feet tall. So you were bumping your head off the ceiling quite a bit. I would have been involved in just a bit of finance stuff, admin, membership databases. I remember working on a wee membership database, helping with funding things. I was only 17, 18 at that stage. So it was very basic, just office work. And then I would have got my qualification, NBQ level 2 and NBQ level 3 through the Limavady College as well. So just basic office work.
And what about your role now on the board? What kind of stuff would you be doing with them?
Everything from reviewing policies. What else have we been doing recently? We've been looking at sort of the strategic plan for the YMCA, the projects, hearing about all them and how they're being delivered, and getting updates from all the different team members, dealing with HR issues, investigations, whatever is needed, fundraising, supporting events, compliance work, a wee bit of everything. And I know whenever I joined the board, when my dad sort of encouraged it, I hadn't a clue what I was doing. And I was in awe of board members like Adrian Johnson and, some of the other board members who seemed to be the same age as me, but excelling. So I learnt a lot from them, and some of them have now moved on. And I'm one of the older faces, I suppose, on the board. So I can see my own progression, and that's something that those experiences, I suppose, that I have at that level has been very useful in my career as well.
Yeah. And so whenever you came here, whenever you were younger, what kind of things did you like to do? So you went to the discos. Did you do anything else whenever you came here?
There was discos, there was beetle drives, there was summer schemes, going away on trips.
Where'd you go?
Bowling alley. I can't remember. One of my strongest memories and the youth time of it, and you probably won't remember this, it was back in the day when you had like 4 TV channels. There was a programme on called Neighbours. Is Neighbours still on? I think it's just kind of finished. And there was a guy on it called Brad, blonde surfer hair. Blonde hair, and he was a surfer. And he came to the YMCA. And I mean, when you had 4 channels and this guy's on 5 days a week, this is an important guy for us, when we were only young. And then because I worked here, I got to go out to dinner with him then later on. And he had a whole chicken and 2 baked potatoes. That was all he ate for his dinner. I always remember that. Concerts and shows, hypnotists, beetle drives, just all these wee rickety wheels. I remember being at a rickety wheel here. Lots of fundraising events going on then.
And I suppose, well, obviously that memory really stuck out to you, but what was the single most significant event or moment while you were part of the YMCA? What really sticks out as like, this is my core memory from being around here for so many years?
If it's not the surfer dude from Neighbours, what would it be? The discos. The Infinity Project. And just this being the epicenter of youth, the place to be whenever we were young. Safe space, social space, cool things happening, and it's just a nice place to go. And the discos, the fashion, the dancing. This was back when dancing was like in lines, and you like danced in and out to each other. All the girls would have been dancing, and all the fellas would have just been like round the sides. And the music from them, there was music in the discos, and it was like is it Happy Monday, Blue Monday? You know that song, Blue Monday?
Yeah.
And it's like there was these guys and they just did robotic dancing. Yeah. So whenever the song came on, which was guaranteed every Friday night, everybody went up to where the stage was, which is now childcare space.
Yeah.
And you just would have gathered around in a circle and watched these guys doing like the robot dancing, and then the headbanging section would come on, and you just go and watch the people doing headbanging, and then the slow dances would come on, and then it would be over, and then that was it.
Yeah. Oh, they sound fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I suppose, well, I don't know if whenever you were younger, did you experience any challenges coming here?
No.
What about being a member of the youth team? Did you ever experience any challenges?
No, it was all good.
And the board? Probably.
Yeah. the board has been challenging in terms of my confidence as a board member and my abilities. But that has come on just, I suppose, with experience and exposure to different things and seeing different things happening. I suppose one of the biggest challenges is obviously the funding, and for the organisation, trying to secure that, the revenue streams coming in, the funding coming in to support all the good work that's happening. So I suppose that's a challenge as a board member. That's always top of mind.
And then thinking back on your whole time, what skill, lesson, or friendship have you gained from the experience?
Friendship. I've loads of, you come in here and I will see a face that I know, and the faces have changed over the years. But like with Mark, I would know Mark and be able to speak to him at any stage. Some of the faces that aren't here anymore, but the likes of Lisa, Katrina, childcare team, Louise. There's lots of there's a bit of something that when you come here, it's very hard to go. It's not an easy choice to go. If you can stay, you'll stay, and it's a hard break to get away from here. I have not been able to get away from here in 40 years.
Class. And then thinking back about your time, what was the most significant or positive contribution, I suppose, like you working in youth made or working on the board has made? What do you think is the most positive thing that's sort of...
Personally or...
Both? You can answer both.
The whole 40 years of being at the YMCA has helped me personally. I always just feel like Daddy, who was the manager here, would have been very much of, you just can't take, you have to give as well to your community, and it'll all kind of come back round to you again. So just raised with that mindset, I always feel like I want to give. And this isn't even my local community. I live 7 miles away. But still feel like this is very much a part of my life and my childhood and my adulthood as well. What was your question, Kim?
The most positive or significant contribution?
This, I suppose, organisationally would be the contribution on the board. I've been on there for a good number of years now, so I would hope that's a significant contribution.
Of course. And then I suppose if you want to talk about your daddy, and do you remember him like coming here to work and what he brought you? And
so he was supposed to be working at the electricity board, but quite often he was here. And like whenever I think back, we were coming out to the discos here 40 years ago. So he was in his 30s whenever he was involved in getting this place set up. And when you think of somebody, I think that's quite an achievement at that age, when you have a career and a small family. So I think he showed his dedication to this place from that time. We would have been out here all the time, and in between times, travelling about. If you were in the car with him, he would have been later on in life, on the phone, manipulating things and scheming things and connecting people and all that good stuff to make all the good stuff happen here. He retired from NIE after 30 years of service he did there, 20 or 30 years of service, and then he based himself out here then full time. He could have just retired and done nothing, but he came here.
What age did he end up coming here to work then? Would he have been in his 50s maybe?
Must have been in his 60s. He retired here from... He'd done 20 years. His 50s. It was 50s. It was his 50s. Because he'd done 20 years here. My memory serves me right. As an employee, working here after he left NIE.
Yeah.
So a bit like myself, 2 careers, one on the electricity board doing nothing connected to here, and then this one here and all the He went to Boston. He went to Jerusalem.
Do you remember him going on those trips?
Yeah. I still have the T-shirt he brought me back from Boston, and the necklace he brought me back from Jerusalem, and he brought back a painting. Dawn size. And anywhere he went, if there was a YMCA where he went, he would have called them as well. Yeah.
He just seemed like he was just so proud.
Yeah.
To be a part of it all.
Yeah. And just that, like, as Lisa had said on her wee podcast, that vision that he had, and just pushing on and bringing in. He must have brought millions of pounds worth of funding in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a wee look at some of the stuff?
Very good. And is this some photographs from the Palestine?
Yes. Yeah.
What age would he have been there?
It was 1998. So 28 years ago.
It doesn't seem that long ago. Are you sure 28 years ago?
Yeah, no.
Him and Sam Starrett would have been scheming together too with the plays.
Oh,
really? You know, there was Scrooge. They put on a production of Scrooge.
Yeah.
And my sister would have been at, and Mummy would have been in it as well.
Really?
And we still talk about this. Oh, look at him.
How did you get out of not having to get into it?
Wait, do you know when that was?
1991, was it? Scrooge?
Scrooge was...
No, was it?
I should know, I just wrote about it.
I think it was 91.
92?
And Cinderella was 92.
I was doing my GCSEs in 91, so maybe that had something to do with it, or maybe I was too cool for that kind of carry on. I couldn't sing anyway, so very good.
You knew Sam Starrett then?
Yeah. Sam would have been about whenever I was working here, so when I was 16, 17. Whenever I started here, in the room across the way was 2 full-size snooker tables. And if you went in there, it was always men in there, and if you did have the occasion to go in there, you couldn't see like the top quarter of the room because of all the smoke, because they just would have smoked in there at the time.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever, what was Sam's Starrett's job when he was...
I don't think Sam worked here. I don't remember him working here like Mark would have done, or maybe it was part of like a funded project or something. But he was just a very creative man and a storyteller, and that's...
Do you remember him writing the book?
No, I don't remember him writing the book. I just remember his involvement in the plays.
Yeah.
And the rehearsals and stuff going on, and then I remember going to see it. That hall was packed, just jam packed. Like maybe a couple of nights, even of doing the same show. I don't even think it was a one-off. Seen fashion shows in there when there used to be the stage. The building has changed so much over time. You know, the hub and stuff and all out back. Just to facilitate all the good work that happens. And sometimes I think it's a pity that the stage is gone because there's not that space to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's got really, really good purpose now with the childcare provision. And I suppose things have moved on a bit from doing things on stage. It's a more digital world that we live in now. So
yeah. Which is sad too.
It is. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Your Story, Our History.
Our living archive is still growing. If you have a story from the last 40 years at Drumahoe, we want to hear from you.
You can get in touch by messaging us on Facebook or Instagram at Londonderry YMCA Heritage, or emailing heritage.lderry@ymca-ireland.net.
This project is kindly funded by the National Lottery Heritage Fund. Be sure to follow our podcast so you don't miss our next story.
Because our history
is your story.